What happens when you order 2 guitars from Japan? You get a big nice box. It's an unboxing. Alright, this is a box from our good friends in Rinkia in Japan. It's time to open it up. Oh, peanuts. Too many packing peanuts. First one, I'm going to grab the big case. Oh, man. Alright. First one, I got the big case here. It's not that big of a case, though, I guess. Let's get this out here. Some cool stickers. Iron Maiden. We got some... They wrapped her up real nice. Put that right here. Put this down for now. Look at that. Nice. That is... It's pretty heavy. I don't know. This could be a chambered body. Let me check the year. I don't know what the year is. Well, and we have no serial number. So, this could be those transitional ones. It's a Greco. Black, obviously. I do not have binding over the frets. But this is quite pretty. Alright, and guitar number 2 is one I'm kind of excited about. Who's not excited about both guitars, but crack this out of here without making a mess. Peanuts. Oh man. This case looks old. Let's see this way. Wow. Let's see. Leather case. Lots of buckles. Oh, jeez. And fell off. Okay. So your case comes off. Wow. That is probably better than I imagined it. We got a little packaging here. Wow. I like. What do we got? What is this? Jelly? Wow, look at that. Oh, that's definitely probably a solid body. Pretty heavy. No fret edge binding. Thick neck. This is going to be quite lemony. I like it. Man, it looks practically new. Like there's hardly any wear on it. You're going to have a bolt on there, and oh my goodness, there is some shiftage that happened here. You're going to have to reset that a little bit. Alright, wow, this looks pretty nice. Okay. Alright, we're going to go in closer now that I've had some time to take a look at this thing and get you just a couple options on what to look out for. Say, hey, I'm interested in buying one of these things. What am I going to get myself into? So what we have in front of us is a Greco Super Reel, and the Super Reels were built in the early 80s. They are probably the most popular Grecos that you can find because they pumped out a ton of them. At this point, the company had a ton of credibility behind them. They were making tons of models left and right, different price point ones, all kinds of different customizations and configurations. So to ID some of the models, it gets pretty confusing because they just kind of did whatever they wanted back in the day. So, being that we have a Greco Super Reel, your first thing to do is to get onto the back of the headstock and look for your serial number. Serial number is going to appear kind of up at the normal place, like where a Les Paul would typically. Or you might be lucky and you have a sticker down in that center location. Stickers don't stick around for a long time, but those would have the model number. Sometimes they still are there, but they're not always. But your serial number, which mine does not have a serial number, I don't know if it's been painted over or what happened, but generally the serial number is going to give you that first digit that would indicate the year that it was put together. So being that I don't have that serial number, I've got to do some extra work and take a look at the body to find out what this thing is consisting of. So what I'm going to do first is the frets. I've got no binding over the frets. So that is a completely clear indicator that this is not anything model or any model higher than an EG500. So anything above that would have binding over the frets to be considered more higher spec. And that's not a big deal. The 500s made a ton. They're regarded as more of the affordable options, possibly, because they had possibly some weight relief in the body. They had some chambered bodies. When I picked this thing up, it's pretty heavy, so I would disagree with that. And like I said, they pumped out a ton of these models, and stuff got real confusing. So I might have a hybrid variation to this, especially with no serial number. It's pretty unique. If you want to take things a step further and go nerdy into it, you can pull the pickups out and take a look at what's the badges are on the back for some dates and things like that. I ended up just taking one out, and I've got the Screamin' branded pickups, which are higher output, so I'm really happy about that. But they also had a sticker from 1982 stuck on there. So most likely it's a 1982, which would put this in line with when the Super Reels were made. It's from 81, 82, and things like that. So pretty happy with it. It came with this mirror pick guard, so I just kind of dropped in some knobs that are chrome and the pickup rings that are chrome just to kind of spec it out and kind of make it look almost high performance. It's black, so pretty neat. All right, now we're going to dive into my gold and maybe orange friend here with a really nice top. Very cool. This is one heck of a Frankenstein of a guitar, so I'm going to take you through the steps that I did to kind of figure out what we're working with here. It's another Greco. I noticed that there's no script in the center of the headstock, which isn't necessarily indicating that there's something wrong with it or anything like that. It indicates that there's something interesting, but Greco didn't always have some sort of script in their logos there with all the different models that they've had. So what we're going to do is to take a look at the back of it, now that we know that. No sticker, obviously, for the model identification number. But we do have a serial number, and it's a very blurry 0 and a bunch of numbers, so you don't really need to see that, but it's a 0, so that means 1990. As I scale my eyeballs down this way, oh, what's that? We got a screw in here, which I had to sink in another screw to make the neck a little bit more secure, but it's a bolt-on. So with bolt-on necks from 1990, I know a couple things just from the history that I've done. It's a hybrid bolt-on neck, so you're going to have 2 screws underneath the pickup cavity here, and then that one screw that's going to house everything together. And it's sometimes they had glue and things like that. But what that means is it's one of the more affordable range for the time period again. So normally you would have a script in here that would say Superpower or Rock Spirits. Given what I have on my body here of no fret edge binding, it goes in line with the same kind of indication that it's some sort of 500 or before model number. Because we got the bolt-on neck, I know that it's one of those two. Given that the Superpower has even more cheaper tops and not as much figuring, this is most likely a Rock Spirits without the Rock Spirits logo. So kind of a unique one here, which is really cool. So a little special, I guess you could kind of call that one. But plays really well with that bolt-on neck. It's got kind of a different resonance to it, as you would expect. It's still heavy, the neck is fatter, but it's really cool. I just like the way it looks. It's very pretty, very unique. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have your own questions or anything like that, throw them down below. I'd love to give you my 2 cents or help you out in any way I can. I'm no expert, but I've done a lot of research over the years for these. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.